but I didn't mind because they want to, you know. But I'm very happy to be back here. Seriously, I feel a serious sense of nostalgia. That's all. That would be how many years now? 1987?
Yeah, 87, that's 36.
36 years ago, I was writing for this paper.
You're just contributing or you had a regular?
I had a column every Sunday. Uncle Fulola meeting was editing. Every Sunday. And I was writing for The Guardian then. In May 1988, I joined the African Concord magazine. I was there for 2 years. I said I'm on my way to Ibadan. And I shouldn't pass in front of the King's Palace without dropping by to pay homage. So I came to visit you as a friend, as a colleague, as a brother. I'm happy that I'm able to meet everyone in good health, in good shape, and may God Almighty continue to bless you and bless the Tribune family.
Amen. So you are welcome to Tribune. The MD is not on leave. You're here, you have the editorial team. I'm Dele Momodu editor. It's Shino Oladende. Editor Sunday, you know it. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Your candidate has, I believe, you this bad image of being a very corrupt person. Aren't you actually worried about that?
Well, there is a saying that the white man who produced the pencil also produced the eraser. I'm sure the famous misperception, let me put it that way, came from his former boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo. But the same former boss, and I will send you videos, copiously endorsed Atiku in 2019. I'm sure you are aware of that. Yes. The Yoruba have a say, Ìyálóde lórí dòwe. In the days of disagreement, people can speak in anger. Even I'm sure your wife at home can tell you that you have never left money for soup in the house when she is angry. So it's the same thing that happened. Atiku Abubakar is probably the most investigated man in Nigeria. I'm not aware that Tinubu has ever been investigated in Nigeria. With all the horrendous tales and stories about him, he's been able to maneuver, meander, and escape, such scrutiny that Atiku has suffered. For years, they told us he couldn't go to America because he's a wanted man in America. He went to America before 2019. He's been to America this time. He's not a saint, but I can say Atiku Abubakar has done extremely well by subjecting himself to the highest level of scrutiny. Do you think if President Obasanjo had serious evidence against him, Chief Obasanjo will not spare anybody? That you can give to Baba, and I'm relatively close to him. He was angry, but for him to endorse, Chief, that's Mr. Yinka Agbola. So for him to have endorsed Atiku in 2019, but what happens is that, like Chief Abiola used to say, he had a famous quote that the last thing a man hears before he goes deaf is what he repeats. So people are going to repeat and regurgitate those tales by moonlight. He's corrupt, but when you ask them, Chief Abiola had similar. I don't know of any great man who did not have tales around him, whether good or bad. Even Jesus Christ. If you go to Israel today, and I've been to Israel several times, you'll be shocked that his people still don't accept him as a savior and Messiah. So with greatness comes all kinds of speculations. So that is how we put it. That
Will your candidate be available for debates?
Atiku, he's attended debates already. The only person who has not attended any debate is Tinubu. Atiku attended debate in Arise. He attended debate at Channels TV. He's done 2 already. He did one in Abuja. He did one in Lagos. Atiku can never run away from a debate. He spoke at even yesterday he spoke at the Nigeria Economic Summit, and earlier on he spoke at the Lagos Business School, which was very well received.
Who is avoiding debates?
Tinubu, I'm sorry, due to no fault of his, is physically unfit. Please remember to add what I said, due to no fault. Anybody can be sick, so I'm not trying to disparage him. If you are sick, you are sick. If you are weak, you are weak. If I'm weak, I'm sure my wife, I know my wife, she has a strong influence on me. She will advise me not to, no matter how much I stand to gain as president of Nigeria, my wife will tell me, come home and stay and play with your children and your grandchildren. So, but you know, for Tinubu, politics is his life. Politics is his blood. So he's not going to agree, even if it's on a wheelchair. I'm sure we continue to insist that he must be president of Nigeria. And that's very unfortunate, because if I felt he had the capacity physically, mentally, and otherwise to run Nigeria, I would support him. But I'm convinced in my heart of heart that his time has passed. There was a time, maybe 5-6 years ago, everybody has his peak. He has peaked. Tinubu has peaked. I'll say it anywhere. So, and it's not about age. Atiku is officially older than him, but God has blessed Atiku with good health. God has blessed him with good business sense. You can see that he has a visible source of income, or even sources, not just one source, sources of income, unlike other politicians who live permanently on collecting money from state governments, from local governments, from everywhere. So that is my view about it. And in all the northern states, he might not win every state, but he will win in all the 3 regions in the north. He will take the lead, and he will get 25% in 19 states. If you come down south, so he needs more, just more 5 states more to get 24. He will get all 5 in south, which is PDP. They have PDP in their blood in the south. And even in the southeast, where Obi is expected to do phenomenally well because of the prevailing sentiment and emotion. After Obi, if Obi manages to win, to be in the lead, the next person will be Atiku. He's had a long-standing relationship, apart from marrying from the place. He's had a long-standing relationship with them. His running mates have always come from there. His personal doctor, Dr. Ndukwe, is an Igbo man. He has been treating Atiku for 24 years. Because my duty is to defend my principle. And when this man comes with his gutter language and behavior, you know, like a senior admiral of Nigeria, it's unfortunate. So I don't like it if I have to wrestle with a pig. But he's decided that that's what he wants. Atiku has told us frontally and clearly that he wants to run issue-based campaign. You can see him. It doesn't, if you like, slap him, we turn the other cheek. That's him. Otherwise, he would have replied Baba Obasanjo long ago. But he felt, and that is why that misperception was able to stick on him, because he refused. But it's in the character of Fulani. They don't make noise like us. A lot of us, we make noise about a lot of things, whether we know the truth or we don't know it, whether we have the facts, we don't know it. We just like to whip up all kinds of things. So, Festus Keyamo is welcome to go to court. He's welcome to waste Tinubu's money. They are wasting it already on funding a serial blackmailer from escaping from Nigeria to wherever he's hiding. Nobody is pursuing him. But we
the issue of what Chief Obasanjo said in his book and the subsequent reactions and so on. Now there are allegations trending now from someone who said he was a media aide of your candidate. And yesterday, the spokesperson of the APC campaign council said he had gone to court. He has gone to court and sued, and even said he offered to step down from his office as a minister to prosecute this matter. So there are two things there now. The allegation by the former aide of Alhaji Atiku'S, and now the matter being taken up legally. How do you see this? Because we are nearing the end of the campaigns and the elections are upon us.
I am not in a position to speak about legal issues. As far as I'm concerned, Festus Keyamo is just a troublesome interloper who is looking for attention at all times. And what he has done with that is that he has done more damage to Tinubu than to Atiku. Last night, I don't know if you watched the Senator Dino Melaye on television, on Seun Okinbaloye's program, on channels. His response startled me, because a lot of people who did not look at it in that way started seeing Tinubu in another light. What Dino said was that Nigeria cannot have a president who is a Pablo Escobar, you know who Pablo Escobar, and a vice president who is Osama bin Laden. I mean, if they pursue that direction, I can tell you that Atiku, like I said, I would not say anybody is perfect, because I'm not perfect, but nothing in Atiku compares as negatively as in Tinubu. Tinubu is my friend. I don't like.
Sir, do you think it is fair, and would you, in all good conscience, defend this, that after Buhari we should have another Fulani man?
I like the question. I've answered it so many times. It's because many of us don't check our history. It is 24 years today. Return to democracy is 24 years. In 24 years, the South has spent 13 years. The North has had 11 years. If Jonathan did not lose in 2015, it would have been 17 years to serve. Did anybody complain at the time? Jonathan would have been the only Nigerian in history, and against our constitution, who would have been sworn in 3 times. Let's be fair. Everybody just talks Fulani. How many Fulanis apart from Yaradua and Buhari? And that's a total of 11 years. We have done a total of 13 years, and we would have had 17 years if Jonathan won, and we're still complaining against Fulani that it's not fair. What's not fair? I didn't on one of my phones. I have it on one of my phones. March 30th last year, I wrote him and I copied Ask Chief Michael Zekome, SAN, you all know him. Call him and tell him that Dele told you that I sent him the letter I sent to Wike, and I copied the former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mohammed Adoke. I copied the two of them. They are our mutual friend. I told Wike that I know you want to run. I know you say you are fighting for the South, but you are not going to get it. And I pleaded with him that if you truly love the South, when you are fighting a cause, you cannot be the sole beneficiary. I told him clearly. You would think I was watching my crystal ball. He didn't listen. Like, in fact, that was when he stopped picking my calls. But I'm happy that I put it on record. I met a former governor who is one of his good friends, who told me the next president of Nigeria is Wike. I said, how? He said he has bought people in Borno, he has bought people in Kano, he has bought them in Kaduna, he has bought them. Everything was about money. It's the same mentality Tinubu has. Anybody knows, Tinubu knows that it's all about cash. That's why the bullion van till tomorrow, nobody has challenged him on it. It's all about money. But I know that nobody has ever succeeded in buying Nigeria with money. The Northerners are not stupid. So the Yorubas who are abusing them in Lagos, the Igbos who are abusing them in the southeast, you think those people don't have ears? You think they don't have brains? You think they are ready to go into extinction when they put their enemies in power? All these pretense they are Muslim is because Tinubu knows he's not a Muslim. He cannot even recite ordinary Fatiha. If you understand, so a man who will hang on to religion is because he knows that he has nothing substantial to offer Nigeria. Peter Obi ran away because he knew he had no capacity to match Wike. Wike was Alpha and Omega. They were just dribbling and manipulating all of us. And I complained one day. I said, twice. I had an appointment from Governor Seyi Makinde. I came to Ibadan, checked into Golden Tulip, Jericho. He never saw me. And he said you are fighting for the South. When Southern candidates, all the Northern candidates were moving. In fact, they almost got a consensus. Tambuwa, Saraki, Bala Muhammad, Atiku was the only one who stood alone. And Atiku had gone to Wike. He told Wike two things. Let us run together. Wike said, okay. After he left, Wike started plotting against Secondus. That's number one. Number two, Atiku told them, PDP, that if you are doing zoning, if you zone to the southeast, I will not contest. Wike said no. Nobody is telling the truth about this thing. That's what happened. They did not allow southeast to get zoning. So why did Wike run if he believed it was the turn of the South? And if you believed it was the turn of the South, how come you did not believe that it was the turn of the Southeast?
That has been very crucial to electoral and political politics, party politics. And when we look at the structure in Nigeria today, PDP has just 13 governors, and 5 of them are rebels. They are rebelling against the structure and against your principle. So when you look at that, wouldn't you say PDP, this election is for PDP to lose?
No. When you talk about structures, there are superstructures, there are weak structures. Once you are not going governor, you become a lame dog. You can see Buhari now. He's very peaceful, very calm, very nice. You saw the way he was almost dancing with Governor Dele when he went to, because he's on his way out. He knows that if he wants some friends to play with in the next few months, he has to be nice to as many people as possible. The governor, let me tell you, that is why I pray that the G5 will see the wisdom in not burning the bridge that led you to where you are. And of all of them, Wike has nothing to lose. He's a second-term governor and he doesn't want to be senator. The others, Seyi Makinde wants to be governor, the others want to be senators. Don't forget also that Atiku'S name is not going to be on the ballot. It is PDP that will be on the ballot. So how are you going to tell the poor man in his house, in his market or whatever, that vote PDP here, don't vote it there?
Nigerians who are going to vote is said to be in about 22-25 million, if my figures are correct.
Yeah, so 26 million.
Okay, 26 million. Thank you, sir. And these young Nigerians do not speak well of PDP. They do not speak well of the APC. And you are representing one of the two blocks. How are you trying to bring them into believing in what you are selling? How are you bringing them to buy what you are selling?
I like to give anecdotes. Sir, in which town hall did you hold a meeting and the young people told you they don't like APC and they don't like PDP? A lot of the people I see around Atiku, they are young people. A lot of people I see around Tinubu, they are young people. A lot of people I see around Obi, they are young people. So it's a split down the line. Not just that. I remember one occasion when Ovation did a story, the wedding of the Abacha daughters many years ago. A friend of mine declared a fatwa against Ovation. He said he will make sure nobody buys Ovation again, because how can Ovation of all magazines feature Abacha's daughter's wedding? That taught me a big lesson. Do you know that was the first time every copy of Ovation sold out? All his enemies bought it, all his friends bought it. Yinka used to represent Ovation. He was one country because I was in exile, so he was in charge. He knows what I'm talking about. There was nothing people have not said about Ovation. We're 27 years old. We're still with the same printers in over 20 years. Stop listening to rumors. It's a rumor. People, then we also have one weakness in the South. I think it was Francis Bacon who wrote about the idols of the cave, the idols of the marketplace, and all that. You know, so it is so clear that we see ourselves within our own cave, what they call the enclave. So I've been gone to the interior. When I see all opinion polls, all the pollings that have been done, they will say Obi is the next president of Nigeria. Where? In which country? I'm very excited to be back at my roots, the Tribune. Well done for keeping the flag flying.
Thank you very much, sir. And this one, sir.
Yes, sir. Oh, wow.
This one.
Oh, yes.
That's the very first question.
Wow, 1949. So you introduced it.
Yeah, for important people like you.
Oh,
Somebody who concluded.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So just keep it on your list like.
Oh, definitely. How? Because it needs all the votes it can get.
So
it doesn't have Southeast, it doesn't have South. So if it doesn't have Northeast, where his vice comes from, so where will he get?
So what he's saying is that
With the
if
Southwest
the Northeast will vote Atiku because it's their son,
So yes.
how would that what will that tell people of the Southwest?
What it will tell them is that even in the time of Awolowo, go and check the figures. I love to go into history, because a lot of us don't go into our history, so we don't know how people vote. There is a pattern, there is a method to madness in Nigeria. What happens is that we are amongst the most enlightened voters in Nigeria. We are too educated. There is no individual who can stand up today and dictate to people and say this is where you must go. That's why I was talking about Governor Seyi Makinde that don't think you can dictate the way a Kwankwaso can dictate to his followers in Kano. You can't do it here. You can't do it here. So that is the problem. Tell me how many states that you think Tinubu can get 60% when Babala Awolowo, even in the Kenya, people were challenging Baba because we are educated. Go and check the records. The records are there. There is nothing Tinubu can do. If our Tinubu, when I was contesting, do you know my own pathway to victory was that I must lock down the entire South, Southwest, South, Southeast, and then go to the Middle Belt. So you go to the North Central. Whatever you then get in the Northeast and Northwest will be a bonus. If Tinubu had locked down the South, let him lock down Southwest. It doesn't have Oyo, 100%. It doesn't have Osun. It doesn't have Ogun, 100%. Ladu, all of them are waiting there. That is why Governor Dapo Abiodun will be panicking and saying he won't allow us to come and campaign in Nigeria.
Yes.
Just one question.
Oh, I'm ready.
Last week,
Yes, sir.
Mr. President was in Yobe to campaign to rally support for the candidates of the APC, not just Tinubu. And given the court-like following the man enjoys in the north, I wonder how you are still optimistic that your candidate will win. That's one. Two, the other one is, do you believe so much in the present INEC to deliver the kind of free, fair elections you have in mind?
So I will reply the first one. Buhari is not on the ballot paper. He was there last time. Despite that, go and check what Atiku got in the north. I think he got about 5 million votes or thereabout. Despite, and that's a sitting president. Tinubu is not the same. And Tinubu is not a Fulani man, no, he's not an Hausa man. From Kwara all the way to Borno, Atiku is in charge. He built it, and God gave him good health, because it requires endurance. On the issue of INEC, when we're coming from Lagos this morning, I said, oh, it's a shame that Buhari is not able to complete the express in 8 years. That is almost impossible now between now and May.
Yes.
Okay? He is not able to complete so many projects between now and May. But if there is one project that can give him legacy, it is free and fair election. And you can see he's been talking about it. Some people don't even want the election to take place, but he's been saying no way it must take place. You know, we call them Nidi Madaru. I don't know how to translate that. You know, there are some people who profit from crisis.